Hey everybody, it's Amanda here, wanting to give you some yoga foot love sort of exercises for you. So I want to make sure that I preface this that my teacher Erin Ehlers from Yoga on the Hill in Kittery has really sourced so many of these postures and these really helpful asana during my training, so I want to give her a little shout out if you're ever in Kittery. It's an amazing studio to check out. So this is called the yoga foot handshake, or the yoga handshake, if you will. So Oliver, he wants to kind of help out with our yoga today. So you can do this sitting in a chair, or you can do it cross-legged like I'm doing. And I'm going to, of course, just extend one leg out to the side and cross. Thank you. But you need to stay over here. Cross one leg over the top of my thigh, and what I really want to do is to take my fingers and spread each and every toe apart by placing my finger in between the little toe space. So this can be really challenging for us. I've been working on this, and I also have stubbier toes, so it's a little bit easier for me. But as you can see, I'm really snuggling in my fingers into the toe gaps, and this is a lot all on its own, especially if you wear really narrow shoes and you don't really kind of pay attention to your feet that much, which most of us really don't. And so this is why this is such a great practice to bring circulation, to kind of just release any tension and bring more awareness and energy into the feet. So just doing your best to get fingers to toe spaces really secure can do a lot of work for you. But from here, if you have the ability to keep this close connection, you can go ahead and begin to spread the fingers wide, so you're almost doing like a jazz hand within the space of your toes, and then release, and you'll then do the opposite. The toes will squeeze the fingers. You kind of clench the fingers with the toes for a couple breaths, and then again spread the fingers. So we're just moving and spreading the toes. This can be, again, pretty intense, but really powerful, especially for any foot issue, for even bone spurs, for plantar fasciitis, bunions, anything that is restrictive to foot function. It really helps to wake things up. So do this a few times, and then we will just swap. So extending the opposite leg out, and now swapping the opposite foot. And you'll notice that one foot might be different than another as well, as far as the mobility of the toes. But again, you really want to get those fingers in there, right into the creases of each of those toes, or the spaces rather. And again, really take your time to get there. And if this is a lot for you, you could certainly just stay with this little finger toe separator action. You don't have to go to the next step. But if you have some room to do so, you can go ahead and spread those fingers, and then scrunch the toes, squeeze the fingers. Spread those toes wide, and then scrunch the toes. One more time, spreading, and say doing 5 to 10 on each foot is a good ratio. And then we'll release. So the other thing I want to show you, I'm going to stand up, so you're just going to see my feet and hear me talking. But what I would like you to do now is to stand in what we call mountain pose, which is really just getting the feet at hips width distance. And you take a peek down at your toes and see how much you can lift them all. And just a couple times lifting and spreading them back down. Lifting and spreading. This is a really potent practice, just as is. Lift and spread. But even more challenging is when we have a couple rounds of the lift and spread and then planting the toes back down. What we're going to try to do, and again, don't be frustrated, this is a very challenging practice for most people, especially if you don't practice yoga regularly or practice this regularly. We're going to try to isolate just lifting the big toe. So I haven't done this in a little while, so let's see, my left one's kind of lifting. Okay, the right one's kind of, there we go. So yours might budge a little bit, or they might go right up if there's a lot of flexibility and strength within those muscles. It's different for everyone. We're just trying to do the toe lift, the big toe lift. You do this for a little while, and then you'll allow the big toes to press back down. And then from here, what we're trying to do is now lift just the middle 3. So this is kind of challenging as well. So you're just lifting the middle 3 toes. And I used to not be able to do this at all, and these aren't lifting that much, but they're lifting. So there's one muscle that connects the big toe, and one muscle that connects the middle 3 toes, and then one muscle that connects the baby toe. And that's what we're trying to isolate here, to bring some more awareness and strength into those separate little foot muscles and toe muscles. So again, don't be frustrated if you get no movement at all. I didn't get much of a movement, but it's in there, and the more you practice this, the easier it will be. And then this one is the really elusive baby toe. So the baby toe actually doesn't lift a ton, but it does move out to right and left side. So again, you're pressing in with the top, the big toe and the little middle 3 toes, and you're just trying to lift baby. And you can see that mine are being challenged by this. The intention is the biggest piece. Just keep telling it, come on, baby toe. I want you to move. And it doesn't seem as though today is the day that this little guy is going to be doing much. Oh, I got a little quiver, but of course now the middle 3 are working. So again, it's a process, but we're trying to isolate and give love to all of those 3 muscles in our toes that really help for better stability when we're standing, when we're walking. The feet are so ignored. And when we give them a little bit more love and attention, especially around circulation and touch and stretch and strengthening, it just helps everything else as well. So take your time to do this, and even if you're just doing it once a week, it's a really wonderful practice to offer your feet some extra love and care, and they alleviate a lot of issues, especially nerve pain within the toes and all of the intricate little muscles and tendons, and just, you know, the wear and tear that we cause our feet in our day-to-day lives. So take some time for some foot care. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have questions, never hesitate. Have a beautiful day, guys.